Today was my day 2 of going to Mass for 7 days. And I had a couple things that happened that I wanted to share. So, so first of all, this morning I shared a verse from Matthew. It was about, and I shared a video about take my yoke, like his yoke is light. Take my yoke upon you, learn from me. It's the previous video. And so today, whenever I went to Mass and I opened up the book and they were reading from the book, and the gospel acclamation today came from, and it's Tuesday, you can look it up in the book, it was Matthew 11:29. And it was, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart. It is so incredible to me the way the Spirit works. The Spirit knew that that was the scripture for today. And, this morning, a lot of times I'll just open my scriptures and just like read from it. But that particular scripture came to my mind this morning to share. It always just amazes me. I don't know why it always amazes me so much, because it happens to me so much, but every time I'm just like, oh my goodness, I love God. Like his Spirit just, he knows. He moves among us. I think that was another video that I did. The same thing happened at church one day. And I love when that happens. It's just so real. I really enjoy the peace, just being able to go and just to sit in peace and to just receive that rest from him. I've been thinking about how I'm me going into the Catholic Church, like I have brand new eyes and I'm curious and I'm learning and like I'm just taking in so much, and I think to myself, yesterday I noticed a guy who was after the service was over, and you come out of the pew and then you bow. I recognized that, he was with someone, and as he was bowing, he was like looking up and he was laughing, with his friend and stuff. He was like smiling and stuff. And he was going through the motion of bowing, but he was distracted. He wasn't really in what he was doing. And I think about that, like how often do we just go through the motions of things? I mean, I recognize it in my own life that is definitely something like we'll go just through the performance, and just be very disconnected truly from what we're really actually doing. And it just makes me wonder how many people really are just going through the motions. This is just what I do. This is what's expected of me. This is like how I learned this. I learned this from a child. I've been, doing these things in any religion, because so many times the heart of it, we lose the heart of it because we're just in the motions of it. And what I'm loving about my experience going is that it's getting me in the heart. Like it's also new to me, and so like I'm so present and I'm hearing stuff when the bells chime. Like I'm so present and I'm so just mindful of what's going on. And I think that it helps too with the standing and the sitting and the kneeling. It kind of keeps you active in it. But again, it can just be a performance that people are just, now I stand, now I kneel, now I sit. It can just be the performance of it, and you're not like standing up to like praise, or kneeling to, each thing would have its own, I don't have the words for that. But if you're following along, you might know what I'm talking about. But it just made me think about that. Like, how often do we just get in the habit of doing stuff, and we're not, our heart isn't in it. Because I think we can all find ourselves in that place. And I think it's important for us to check ourselves, and when we're in the spirit, just try really hard to be in the spirit and to get rid of all the thoughts, all the stuff, and just really try to be there present with Christ, with Jesus, with the Spirit, with God. Earlier today, I I was looking for something to just listen to on YouTube, and the first thing that popped up on my YouTube was music with Mary. It was like, I actually shared it on a post in my YouTube thing, and also on my Facebook wall. But it's like 25 minutes of like songs to Mary or something like that. And I was like, oh, well, let me see what this is all about, because this is a week I feel like I'm preparing myself to like experience the Assumption of Mary. And I was like, well, so I began to listen to the songs. And oh my goodness, I sat here and listening to the words and just feeling into her. I just started crying. I mean, I just started bawling. I was crying so hard, just like, because I've never really truly pondered and thought about Mary and in the way that I have been. Like, the church that I've been raised in, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there's not as much emphasis on Mary. And so it's just not part of my learnings and my teachings and understanding. And so, as I sat here just listening to these songs about Mary, I just had a flood of thoughts come in, and just feeling into her as a mom. And I am a mom, and I have a mom who has passed away, and who, it's like, it was making me think of my own mother, and just the mother of Jesus Christ. Like, I can't even put into words and express to you what I was receiving and what I was feeling about Mary. Because it's like, whenever that comes in that way, a lot of times it's like so much imagery and so much feeling and so much that you can't, I can't teach another person. It's one of those things you can only learn for yourself, but you can't teach. But it just made me like just feel so much love for her, and to recognize how much love she has for me. Like, I've just never thought about that her son that she brought into this world through her body, he died for me. He died for all of us. He hung on that cross for us. And he loves us so much. And she loves him so much. And it's like, I don't even have the words. I really don't even have the words. But it really gave me such a deeper, just listening to that music. Isn't that amazing how that can work? How the Spirit can move so strongly through music. I love that. I love it. Someone else had shared something in my comments with like a chanting, like a music. I can't remember what it was, but I listened to it for, it was only like 5 minute clip, but oh my goodness, my whole body had like tingles, just the his voice, and I couldn't understand anything he was saying, but it was just so beautiful. And I love the way that music can just move our spirit in that way. But it just, thinking about Mary too, there's something else that was coming into my mind, is that, we have a Father in heaven, and we have Jesus Christ, and, we have a mother too. We have a mother in heaven. And I love the way that Jesus Christ points to the Father. Jesus Christ is like this, they are one. Like if we look at Jesus, we're looking at our Father. I mean, we learn from Jesus, we're learning from our Father. He is as the Father is, they are one. And as I'm coming to understand Mary more, it's like she points, not only is she pointing to Jesus Christ, her son, and saying, love my son and look at what my son has done for you, but she also points to our heavenly mother. It's just so amazing to me, because there's not a lot about women. There's not a lot about a heavenly mother. I mean, that's just one of those mysteries. That's like one of those things that just we've not been given in this life. But as we learn and are in the spirit, and we are seeking and searching and wanting that, like, she comes to us. And I love that she comes to us like through Mary in that way, like that Mary points to her. It's just very beautiful. It's my knowledge and my understanding from my own life and from my own upbringing and from the teachings that I've been given in my life, in my church and religion. I just, understanding Mary is opening my mind up in so many ways that it's like so many little dots are connecting within me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's just, it's so amazing. It is so amazing. I mean, I was talking to my husband, like, just with the Mass, there's so many things with the Mass that is so similar to things that I experience in the temple. And it's just like, there is so much truth. Because Jesus Christ is truth. And he gives us truth. It's really amazing. So, that was my second day. I mean, this has been like my 5th time going, I think, to Mass, but I'm going. I'm wanting to go 7 days in a row, and to just to have rest in that spirit. And I feel like this is almost like a holy week that I'm in. I've kind of stepped back from sharing a lot of stuff on social media because I was doing a lot of stories, and I was just very active in that, and I felt the Spirit was like, let's just let that go for a little bit, and let's just focus on this, what is really most important right now, and that is just being at rest. Because I shared in my previous video, I've been very tired and very exhausted from things happening in my life, and he's bringing me to still waters, and he's nourishing and feeding me, and I am just so grateful. I am. I love it. I love the Spirit. I love learning from the Spirit. I love whenever things are just opened up, and that, the scripture from the gospel acclamation was the same scripture that I shared this morning on a video, and just the way that Mary just was so strong in my life today. And just, it's so beautiful to walk a path with Christ, to have an open heart and an open mind and an open spirit to listen and to do and to share. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I can share and that others are able to receive, and that it's uplifting to others. I've received so many comments just about how I've been strengthening other people's faith and bringing other people back to their church, back to the Catholic Church, and just strengthening it and helping them to have different eyes to see what they have. And I mean, what a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful for that God is able to use me in that way, that I'm willing, and that's the thing about it, is like just being willing to open up our hearts, and being willing to open up our voice and to speak. Because, it's not easy. It's not easy being an LDS girl with lots of Catholic, brothers and sisters who have such different understandings and opinions and things. And I love it. I think that it's so wonderful. It's really opening my eyes up to so much that I just did not know, And so it's awesome. So thank y'all for being here with me, and for just being interested, and for listening, and for sharing and commenting, and having conversations that are respectful and everything. I'm so grateful and appreciative of that. So until next time.